All right, friends, I have been told we are ready to go with our wonderful game of Lenna's Inception by Snowball SMB. Snowball, take it away.
All right, thank you. Hey everyone, my name is Snowball, and this is going to be Lenna's Inception Perfect Ending Blind Seeded. Lenna's Inception is a 2D sort of like roguelike action-adventure sort of game that's very similar to some of the old 2D Zeldas, but with some really cool, fun, and unique twists to it. This game has a very heavy randomizer aspect to it, so I will be, as I mentioned, running the blind seeded, so I have no idea how some things are going to be arranged throughout the game. Other things are just always the same, but most of it is randomized. So I am going to give a real quick countdown, and then we will be off. Lovely seed, no holidays, because this is no holidays allowed. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is not a terrible boss order. That first room of the game, depending on the order in which the kids are seated around their classroom, can tell you when certain bosses are going to be showing up. The first boss and the 8th boss are always the same, as every dungeon has a specific dungeon item that corresponds to how you defeat that boss. And the sword has to always be in the first dungeon. And I'm not going to spoil the 8th dungeon item just yet, because it's a pretty cool little thingy that will make movement pretty interesting. I really wish, just like for if I was like shooting for a PB attempt or something, I would have really preferred the bosses of the 2nd and 4th dungeons to be switched, because in every dungeon starting at dungeon 4, the boss fights start becoming 2-phase fights. And the boss that I got in the 4th dungeon for this run has the longest 2nd phase of any of the main dungeon bosses. But the dungeon item that I'm going to be getting in dungeon 2 is probably the most powerful for going fast, so there is that nice little trade-off. Also, I completely forgot to introduce Lance. He's the hero kid. He's dead. Hopefully, I'll be able to save him later. I say hopefully because sometimes Lance just refuses to be brought back to life. And it's tragic. But now I need to go to the library and talk to the librarian, who's named Paige, but I also need to get 20 coins because on the way to the Elder's Cave, I passed by a bear who was standing on, like, a little carpet, or I don't actually know what he was standing on. But his name is Andres, and he sells a tunic for 20 coins. Tunics are very powerful, sometimes. Other times, they're not really good at all. They have a wide range of different effects that they can give you, and the most powerful one of those effects... I'm not actually sure which one I would say is more powerful between strength and speed. Strength Tunic doubles your damage output, so that I think is probably for perfect ending. Maybe the strongest. I don't know. I can't make up my mind, because the Speed Tunic doubles your movement speed, and that, for obvious reasons, is good. I do have 20 coins now, but the second dungeon is not my friend to get to, so I'm going to actually warp back here, grab the tunic, and then warp back to dungeon 1. And the reason for that is... Okay, Frugal Clinic, that's not very good. So... Dungeon 2 has to be locked behind using the sword to navigate to a screen's exit. And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out where the game wants me to go here. Dungeon 2 always feels like it's the hardest one to get to. I don't know why, but it just feels this way every single run without fail. Let's try up this time. The good thing about checking all of these screens now is, since this is perfect ending, I need to actually complete all of the side quests. Because each of the side quests give me a sort of... I don't know how to describe it. Like, a special item that I need to get through all the bosses. You know what? You want to know why I'm going the wrong way? Because I completely misread the map. That's why. Where do I go? Give me a minute here. I think I see it. So, the dungeon that's like flickering on the map is the one that I have to go to. I'm gonna get that later because I need to book it. Because I am a master of directions. Don't question any of it. So yeah, I, for some reason, thought that the dungeon to the north was the one that I needed to go to. It's very much not the one I need to go to. I'm probably gonna have to backtrack here. I was hoping that one of these screens was gonna let me go down. Yeah, that's locked behind swim. So that, to me, says most likely the screen directly south of the one I just went to will have the bridge. The bridge will take me to the east side of the island, where Dungeons 5 through 8 are. And I know that it's going to be swim because the fourth boss is going to be Sandolphin, who is the sort of the swim boss. Fortunately, I got really lucky with the Dungeon 2 layout here. I think this is R, because it's called R because it's shaped like the letter R. Each dungeon number has a small handful of different dungeon layouts that it can pull from, but what is where on each layout is still completely randomized. There's one layout for Dungeon 2 called Dumbbell that just sort of looks like a dumbbell weight, and I tend to have a really unlucky time with Dumbbell with finding the item room. I need to also be careful not to die here because these big skeletons, the arrows that they shoot are also huge. Also that locked room directly up from the entrance is the room that is directly south of the boss. So knowing where that is very, very nice. But now I can actually go north. And also I got the lighter, which is... If you've played some of the older Legend of Zelda games, it's kind of like the Pegasus boots, except it also has, like, a fire projectile damaging thing. There's a tunic there. I would not say no to being able to pick that up, but I am not going to go out of my way to find that because I wasted way too much time getting to that second dungeon. Fortunately, though, this seems to be a much more straightforward path to the next dungeon, and I found the office and the thirsty person. Those are 2 out of the 4 side quest NPCs that I need to find on the west side. Also, I went into the office so that way I could set the warp point. Any building or cave that you enter, you will be able to warp to later. So just having the warp point for the office is very, very handy. This is a really good layout to get because it's pretty compact. I'm not actually sure which one this is because there are 2 D3 layouts that are a bit more just smaller, a little bit more cramped. So now I'm going to grab the bow, which should, if I'm gonna guess, it had to be, yep, right here. And I am on critical health. Fortunately, this is not an exploding spider. So I haven't really explained the item rooms yet. So, item rooms will have enemies that have double health and then a random color. Or in the case of those, just be huge. Depending on what color the enemies are, will determine what sort of, like, secondary effect they have. I definitely want to see as few item rooms with either green enemies or brown enemies as possible, because green enemies will periodically heal half a heart of damage, and brown enemies will every 2 or 3 seconds explode. And I do not have an explosion protection tunic. Those are a thing, they are very handy, especially when I blow myself up a lot. That's the chairman of the guild. He's not a very good guy. He doesn't donate to charity, and he throws us into the 4th dungeon. So now I am going to try to navigate to the item while also sort of trying to keep my eyes peeled for a very specific something. I am going to defeat this enemy here because dead-end rooms and dungeons usually have some sort of item drop, like a tunic or a book. I've not explained the books. I need to find 12 of them, and I have only found, I think, 1 so far. But the librarian page told us that there are a bunch of missing library books that we need to find for her. We need to find 12 out of the 16 that are in the game. Fortunately, 4 of them will always be in the same spot. The other 8 that we have to find are in randomized locations. So, okay, so here are the brown enemies that explode that I was talking about. Ow. Please go in the water. Or don't. Okay, that was terrifying. I am going to now leave the dungeon. I wish that I had had the map when I was over here, because I did not realize that I was only 1 screen north of the entrance. You can only warp to the entrance of a dungeon if you have been to that room. So for the 2 dungeons, Dungeon 4 and 8, that you get dropped into instead of entering through the front door, it can be kinda nice to know where the entrance is for just sake of simplicity, for getting the warp out. Actually, it's not that big a deal with 8 because of how that dungeon item works. Okay, I was completely wrong about where the bridge is going to be. There's the chairman, he's running away. We're about to meet someone else very important. His name is Delvin. He's an interesting fellow, and I completely forgot the mashing pattern for this. So yeah, the chairman's gonna throw money at his problems, he's gonna run away. This is Delvin, he'll be seen again. And while I make my way over towards Dungeon 5, if there are any messages from the host, now would be a really good time.
Let me see what I've got for you. Here we go. I just want everyone to know the complete-a-thon is no glitches allowed completionist speedrunning event. 100% long it runs, and other such completionist categories are welcome. The event takes place in the late summer. If you're interested in getting involved or finding out more, make sure to join our Discord and follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram to get updates about future events.
Okay, so after the Dungeon 2 incident, this is the last thing I wanted to see on the east side. This is a forest dungeon. There can be a maximum of only 1 per seed, but they are really not what you want to see after Dungeon 3, because, well, for one thing, I just find them annoying, because I can never see where the item drop tiles are in these rooms, so I have to pretty much constantly be checking the map to make sure that I'm not in a room that has an item drop. This one does. I'm going to see if the map is here, because also, yeah, there's a secret room in Dungeons 4 through 8 that and there's an item that shows up in one of them that I really need for the final boss. But accessing said secret room in forest dungeons is an absolute nightmare. So, hopefully that item is not going to be here. This is also a really terrifying set of enemies to be constantly exploding. I am going to just knock these two pretty much on top of each other, so that way I can just do that and save myself some trouble. Also, that item that I just set the bombs over is called the Power of Compassion. That is a very important item. That's not the button. There we go. Power of Compassion is probably the most important item for Perfect Ending, because that item lets you spare the bosses. And in order to get the perfect ending, you need to spare all of the bosses. Well, not all of the bosses, but the 8 dungeon bosses. You don't need to spare any of the final bosses. Ooh, strange cave. I'm glad that I found the strange cave already, because usually I feel like this is more than any other that one east side side quest spot that just always eludes me for I don't know why. But Dungeon 6 got Helmet for the layout, which I think I prefer Helmet a little bit over Rocket Ship. They can both be about equally as obnoxious, and they can also be about equally as really, really strong. Okay, good. Yeah, I need you two to warp over. Can you warp over here? So these guys, I think they're called Pyromelians. The community just calls them Lizrobes. And they are maybe the most obnoxious enemy type in the game. Just because they love to teleport around and troll. It's especially bad when you don't have the ability to lift up these skulls yet, or if part of a room is blocked off by something that you need to blow up and you don't have bombs and they just teleport to the other side of it. It's so annoying. Alright, these Lizrobes are on fire. I'm gonna just bomb arrow that guy. Nice. Ow, I set myself on fire. Alright, got the strength thing. I can lift stuff now. And I'm gonna just warp back here. Because this looks like the spot that I need to just warp back to. Hopefully that is accurate. I'm still looking also for, I think, 4 more NPCs, if I'm doing the math correctly. I am going to check this screen real quick for a book. Okay, that's a meteor. That's completely useless. In a speedrun setting. Okay, no book but 100 bill, which is good because I need quite a bit of money for one of the side quest items. I don't need to find a ton before backtracking to the west side, because on the west side there's the bank with the Dungeon 8 dungeon item. You can rob the bank vault really, really easily. It's a lot of fun. Also, this is a really good layout for Dungeon 7 because there's an extra row of rooms on the bottom of the map, which means that the secret room has to be somewhere on that extra row. Ow. Don't mind me almost blowing myself up. This could get a little bit dicey. I need them both to be, like, against this far wall. Okay, I'm no longer on critical. That is the thing. After you drop to 0 hearts, you're not dead immediately. You're put on critical health. If you survive uncritical for long enough, then you will heal up 1/2 heart of HP. But with the gray snails, they explode upon getting hit. So it's you gotta take extra caution while dealing with them on critical health. Also, these gray crabs, I lied. I think these are the most irritating enemy in the game, because they sometimes just decide, you know what, you're not going to deal damage, and that is really annoying. Fortunately, they cannot dodge explosions from bomb arrows that hit a surface behind them. They also cannot dodge the axe. The axe is one of the, actually the side quest items that I will be getting hopefully before long. And it also, in addition to making gray crabs not able to dodge, it also deals, I believe it's 1.5 times damage to all enemies, except for bosses. The amount of damage bosses take is always fixed. Now we've got to go to the lab, which is in a kind of strange spot on this sea. Okay, guessed correctly there. Also, I can now jump. Fun fact about the jump item, it is impossible for the dungeon with the jump item and boss to be before swim, because with the jump you can jump over 1 tile wide gaps of water, and if there were any of those blocking your path to the next dungeon, you could just sequence break. That's a really annoying spot for that snail to stop. But now we need to rescue the Professor Maxwell from his basement, because he has an earthquake machine that his lab assistant got angry at him and turned his earthquake machine against him and caused an earthquake that threw him into the basement, and he was unable to get out of the basement until we came to rescue him. His lab assistant is that guy that we met on the bridge, Delvin. He's a bad guy. We'll be beating him up later. But I am going to go out the front door of the lab, because if you don't do that, then you don't get the warp point. And just in case I need to get somewhere quick from the lab, it's just always nice to have that warp point. Come on. So that book also that was on his bookcase is one of the 4 books that will always be in the same spot. I only have 3 bombs, so I do not want to bomb arrow these guys this early. Yeah, I'm probably gonna need the item that's in here, at least I hope. This better not be the meteor. Every dungeon has a meteor in it, and I feel like the meteor always shows up in the most inconvenient spot. But I'm really hoping that this is going to be the blue key. Can't be the green key. Alright. Blue key acquired. The reason why it can't be the green key is the blue key will always be the first key that you find in a dungeon. Green key will always be second, and then red key will always be the one to the boss door. So this is probably going to be the meteor, but I do want to check this just in case it's the map, because Dungeon 8 can be a problem. Get back here. There we go. Alright, one more spider, and then we get to see, does the game like me? I guess it does. Extra row on the top. That is really useful. Let's see. We need to just go... Oh, come on. This is a terrible room. Yeah, I wish I had the axe right now. Or more bombs. There were a ton of gray crabs in Dungeon 7, and that is not good. Okay. Good. It's not going to force me to, like, go all the way over here and then backtrack to that green door. Because the tiles on the map that have a yellow dot are rooms that will have items in them. So I know for a fact that there's not an item left on the side of the dungeon that I started on, which is really useful information to have. I think I might try blowing up these rocks also. Okay. Just because rocks very frequently will drop bombs. So, since I was so low on bombs, I just figured, why not try and restock? Alright, so it should be over, down, over, down. Alright, I need to beat up these skeleton jousters. I really hope that this item room is going to be simple, because this is really far from the start. Need that heart. Also, while I try and finish navigating this dungeon, if there are any messages from the host, this is another really good time.
Sure thing. I want everyone to know about our charity. In 2011, a local woman named Georgia Obanas lost her home, and her only focus became how to prevent her family dogs from going back to animal control. Starting out with just an empty shell of a building, Go Rescue soon became not just a place for her current rescues, but a shelter that has grown to over 2,000 dogs to date, with no signs of slowing down.
Alright, so secret room was not what I was looking for in Dungeon 8. I'm looking for a very specific item from one of these. Also, everything that you see me do with these funny little glasses is intended gameplay. All this screen wrapping, not only is it intended, it is required. So here's the palace. The chairman is trying to take over. He's locked the prince in the dungeon. We're not going to rescue the prince yet. We are going to go through the palace and open up the front door. So that way it's a bit easier to get into later. Let's check this tunic. Blast protection. I will take that for now. Now I don't have to worry about getting blown up. Also, I am still a little bit concerned about the low number of books that I've found. I don't know exactly how many I have, but I will be checking that shortly after getting built the palace. And I want to say I still need to find 4 side quest characters. But the Glitch City usually has a decent number of side quest character tiles, so fingers crossed. Also, I should note that the palace's layout is one of the few areas, one of the few traversable areas in this game that will always be the same. So this route through the palace that I'm taking, this is always going to be the route in a speedrun that you want to take. Now I'm going to just screen wrap up 2, grab the green key, and walk out the front door, so now I can walk back to the palace as well. So now, it's just going to be a bit of screen wrap shenanigans. Here's the traveling merchant. This is one of the guys we need. It's gonna give us a tunic that I will check. Undead tunic, that's not very good. So we have to find him on 4 spots. And then he'll give us a fancy book. It's not one of Paige's missing books. So, okay, wow, 3 of the characters I've already found. Found Traveling Merchant, Naked Bear, and Zoologist, so now I think it's just the Woodcutter. The Woodcutter is the one who gives... who will give me the axe. I feel like this is a screen I should take all the enemies out on, because I don't know why, but my book-finding instincts are a-tingling. And my instincts betrayed me immensely. That is tragic. Alright, let's just screen wrap down then. Where is he gonna be? Okay, wow, he is just in the city. Like, all 4 tiles in the city. I don't actually want to go to that tile if I can help it yet, though. Because I need to come back to him anyway for a different side quest later. What about this screen? Nope. I really hope that books are not going to be a problem. How many do I have? 4? Okay. So there are 3 more that are in fixed locations. One is in Paige's bedroom, which ironically you need the glasses to get into. You have to screen wrap in there. One is in a bookshelf at the bank. And the other is actually being sold by Andres the Bear, which seems kind of strange. He's trying to sell an overdue library book. That, to me, seems somewhat unethical. Where is this woodcutter, though? That's what I want to know. Fortunately, there are significantly fewer side quest NPCs on the west side that I have to worry about. I've already found 2, and there are only 2 more. However, Paige is also kind of a side quest NPC, and she is not pulling any punches today. So, more money. So money's really not an issue right now. I mean, especially since I'm gonna be robbing the bank vault anyway. I really wish that there was a book in the bank vault right now, because that would really make my life easier. Every once in a while I go in stretches of just like sinking into the ocean trying to screen wrap around it. Wow, this is a lot of money that's just sitting on this side of the island. Why? Are you the only enemy here? I think you are. Dang, that's unfortunate. Let's get rid of that guy. There's gotta be a book here, right? Thank goodness. Okay, so I at least have enough books to get Paige to start following me around. Once you get to, 8 books, then Paige starts tagging along. And that doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's just fun and cute. So let's see. This is feeling like one of those seeds where I'm going to have to go to every screen on the east side to find the woodcutter. Oh, never mind. Here he is. Alright, so he wants me to find a secret, because he's been cutting wood for years and has never found one. There's one literally sitting right next to him. So he's gonna give me this glitched log. I'm going to actually check these other screens just for book safety at this point. This feels like a screen I should check. Don't know why. Last time I said that, there was very much not a book on that screen, so... yeah, no more book. Okay, let's go to the office. Go one screen up from here to the thirsty person. That potion that I bought from the traveling merchant was a water potion. So we give the thirsty person the water, and then they're no longer thirsty. And they give us a paper clip, which we are going to come in here and give to the office worker. She's going to use them to make a very stylish pair of glasses, and give us a pen in return. Now we need to find some dude named Creepy Jack, so that way he can forge us a fake property deed that then we take to a skeleton in the bank. Everything makes perfect sense on this island, I promise. I also need to find the 3 bears cottage. Yes, the 3 bears, they live here. And Goldilocks is kind of harassing them, so we need to stop her. Well, here's the 3 bears cottage. So, here's a cool little trick. So, this is like those hide-and-seek mini-games that are so obnoxious from the old 2D Zeldas. But if you screen wrap out of bounds, and then screen transition twice, it'll spawn an extra 2 Goldilockses, and the game doesn't check for which screen specifically Goldilocks leaves. The game only checks for how many times Goldilocks has left a screen. So if Goldilocks leaves this screen 3 times, it counts for all 3 rooms. So, yeah, that's out of the way. Now we're going to get a police report. One of the Archangels wants a police report. Why? I don't know. But, no book here. That's unfortunate. There's Creepy Jack right next to the Three Bears Cottage. So yeah, this is a seed that Paige is going to destroy. Hooray! It's actually been a while since Paige has been merciless to the pace of a run. Find it fitting that it's in a marathon. Alright, let's see. How should I go about this? Well, alright, that's 6, so I need 3 more, I believe. There's so many money drops on this seed. What is going on? This is like one of the best seeds for money drops I think I've ever seen. This is uncanny. I did not want to warp out of that screen. That's unfortunate. I wanted to try and warp around until I was in bounds. That didn't happen. Another meteor. Another meteor. You know what? This has the makings of a good book. Never mind, it's just a meteor. I can't actually screen wrap that way because the cliffside next to the ocean doesn't let you sort of warp through it. It's too steep. There is an item that I think lets you bypass that. I say I think because it's like you never see this item unless you're doing a seeded run of the game. That way you like know exactly where it is. But I don't run seeded, and also I don't think I have ever found the item in a casual playthrough. It's like some sort of like springy boots or something like that that give you an extra jump. And the extra height from the jump lets you get around cliffs, which is pretty cool. Tragically, you never see it in a random or blind seeded run. Which is unfortunate because there are a lot of different items that can spawn on the screens that you access from the secrets with the axe. And trying to like just go through all of those to find one specific item would be very, very time consuming and not very efficient at all. Let's see here. I really hope that these last, I think, 2 books now show up soon. Another 2 minutes. Please be like strength. Explosion, of course. Oh, okay. I'm not liking Paige right now. No book here. There's still 2 more tiles that I can check around here. Don't like great crabs. Let's screen wrap. Let's go up and around. Let's jump over the water. I kind of have to check like every room at this, or every screen at this point, which... Ugh. Okay, that's 8. So now I can at least go and get Paige. Which is good. So I want Paige to follow me around. Now I'm going to call Lenna, who is Potter and Funley's sister. They're the 2 guys that were in the building on the east side with the purple roof. The dude outside the strange cave gave us Tressa's phone number. And now, if I'm remembering everything correctly, I think I did everything else that I needed to do. You know what? I'm gonna push the snail into the water. Okay, there's nothing here. Good enough. So now this person wants to know the names of Tressa's brothers. Now we get the phone number for their mother. Gonna give the forged property deed to that guy. He's gonna give us a briefcase. Call Tressa's mom. Next time we go into a dungeon, Tressa will be there. And I only need 500 bills from the bank. The bank is lucky today because I'm showing them some mercy. Alright, now screen wrap here, screen wrap up. Grab a book from that bookshelf, go through this door, now we're upstairs. Now we need to put a deposit of 1,000 coins into the bank. And then, what we need to do is we need to take 999 out, and then try to take the other one out, and then the skeleton's like, you can't do that, you're taking too much money out, and give you a little notice thing. Now I'm going to purchase some of these potions, because the first potion that Andre sells will always be a healing potion. And then I will buy this book, and I need one more book. So I'm going to try to quickly find that first. Are there seriously no enemies on these screens? That's unusual. Even though Paige is following us, she's still gonna give us a phone call, because why not? I am going to try a couple screens that I've not into yet. Did I? I don't think I checked this screen for a book. I'm gonna do that real quick. Your days are numbered, Lizrobe. You're joking. Please warp back over here. Thank you. That's a water potion. That's not what we need. Wow, this is one of the worst book seeds I've ever seen. What is this? Paige, I get you're trying to help. Please, girl. You are like the pinnacle of not helpful right now. You are literally the reason why this run is on a very slow pace. I don't feel like... Let's try this screen. More water. Dang, the thirsty person should just move to this side of the island. Yeah, let's try this screen. I'm feeling good about this screen. More money. I think I need to, like, start doing reverse psychology with this game and say, like, I feel really bad about this screen. I'm starting to wonder if there's, like, a dead-end room somewhere in a dungeon that has a book, and if that's the case, that is literally the worst-case scenario. Because I can't do the I can't backtrack into the dungeons until I have this last book. My god. No repair. I feel like some of these earlier screens I should probably check. Because I only saw them briefly. Oh, I am going to need to book it in the boss rush, because this is... Oh, Lord, that was terrible. Alright, where is everyone? Briefcase would be traveling merchant. Let's go to him first. Now I'm sort of in, effectively, go mode. Now I need to just get to all of the side quest characters as quickly as possible. I'm pretty sure Naked Bear was straight up from here, and then Zoologist was to the right. Alright, so... Traveling Merchant gave us his shirt in return for the briefcase. We give the shirt to the Naked Bear. Now we come over here and give the bear claw that we got from the Naked Bear to the Zoologist. He's gonna give us the binoculars. Now I'm at 4, so I need to... I'm at 4? Wait, what am I missing? I didn't find him on all the files yet, I don't think. I only talked to him once. So... if you have the briefcase, then talking to him once will do that bit of the side quest, where he gives you the shirt. You have to talk to him again to get the little book. And I don't know how that slipped my mind. But now I need to go to the second wave of the Strange Cave twice and leave both times because I need 10 of these marshmallows for the final bit of the side quest with Paige. And then I need to just beat the Strange Cave, grab the trophy cup that is at the end. I also need to switch items now. I need to equip the axe, I need to equip healing potions, and I need to go. Since this is going to be just fighting a bunch of different types of enemies, if there are any messages from the host, now would be another really, really good time.
Indeed, I do have some messages. I have a couple of donations, actually. I've got $25 from Anonymous. They don't have a comment, but thank you all the same. By the way, they put their donation in towards our new incentive. We have a Save the Animals in Super Metroid, where if we reach $75, we'll be saving the animals. Currently, we are $30 towards that. We also have $5 from Milovich. Also put their donation in towards saving the animals. And that's not all. Oh no. We have another incentive, a GMC showcase for Astrobot. It's $100 to make that, and that sounds so cool. So if you don't know how to do it, put your exclamation point donate in the chat to donate towards one of those incentives.
Oh boy, like literally everything that can go wrong in this game went wrong on this run, and I am feeling the time crunch now. Not having a strength tunic for the Strange Cave is like literally the last thing I want right now, because the strength tunic, as I mentioned earlier, deals, at least I think I remember to mention it, deals double damage. And being able to deal double damage in the Strange Cave is so strong, it is third. All things considered, though, not having a strength or a speed tunic, this has been a pretty smooth Strange Cave. I do need to heal because I'm getting pretty low on HP. And Dungeon 7 is where I need to go first, because I already checked the secret room of Dungeon 8. And Dungeon 7 had an extra row of rooms on the, I think it was bottom. So I know rough ballpark where the secret room has to be. But now we're going to do this little campfire cutscene with Paige. He's going to give us a little locket. Now, Paige needs to go away. Got 7 items. And 7 is the one all the way up here. Alright, boss rush time. I will say a little bit of a minor flashing lights warning for the boss rush, and also minor eye strain warning as well. Just to be safe. That's really not good. I am becoming increasingly more and more anxious about Dungeon 5, because Dungeon 5 having the item that I need would literally be the most disastrous scenario possible. Because I need an item called the Old Revolver. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a gun, it has one shot. Whatever you hit with that one shot gets instantly defeated, including a boss. So, what I want to have happen is I want to get the revolver, beat the first of the 3 final bosses, go into the second one, which is a 4-phase fight, instantly use the Old Revolver, fight's over. And also, that fight is really, really hard, and I am very out of practice at it, so I need that revolver. So, yeah, let's just... Oh, okay, I am going to shut the glasses off, because the thing about the glasses is they... I need to equip the Power of Compassion. The glasses, against some bosses, speed up their moves. But with Cat Seal, if you're using the glasses, she also will drop bats from the ceiling in her second phase on top of you much faster. I will go to Dungeon 8 now just to fight the boss, because that is the most reasonable course of action at this point, I think. Now I need to go here. This is a pretty lengthy boss. This is probably the second longest boss. We got Katasaya. It's kind of annoying with how long her first phase is, because her second phase is super, super quick. And on top of that, she's got, I believe, the only first phase boss to have only 2 hits of HP instead of 3. But, her first phase is really long because of the amount of attacks that she throws out before she becomes vulnerable each time. So now all of that, we gotta do it again. Gonna throw the exploding... I don't know what these are supposed to be. Like, stickle thingies, maybe? I don't know. Now she's gonna drop a bunch of bats from her top hat. I promise that they are bats, even though they look like weird diamond creatures. But yeah, they are bats. They only look like that because I have the glasses open. Little magic card trick. And she's gonna ram the wall a few times. And then we go on to the second phase, which is pretty much just her screaming a lot and throwing a ton of bats at us. So, try and line up like that. Hit. And then... it's fair. But that was a pretty good Hadasaya. So every once in a while, she ends up spawning in a spot where the last hit of her first phase is like closer to the middle of the room. And when that happens, her scream throws you into the wall. And if she's closer to the middle of the room, that's really not ideal for getting to her quickly. So I need to find this secret room and hope that the revolver is here, because Dungeon 5 is... I was gonna be so mad if that was a book that dropped. Dungeon 5 is a forest. Don't like that. And Dungeon 4's layout is just not very good for looking for the secret room. Just to be safe, I am going to check this room over here. Also, I know roughly where the boss is going to be, because... thank goodness. Alright. That was probably the best case scenario. That wasn't, it's in Dungeon 7. So that's really good, because now I do just need to go. The boss should be over here. Of course they're not. Why would anything be simple? If I had to guess, then... my educated guess would be... not where the boss actually is. Intriguing. Okay, so I'm here, which means... I think... Oh! I didn't actually ever go over here. Me being silly, I thought I already went over to this room. That's why I went left on the top row first. Whoops. Alright, I'm going to actually switch to bombs now. Because Hydranial will start throwing parts of his big stone body at you as soon as you throw something at him that you have picked up. If you drop a bomb and then pick it up, that counts as an item that you picked up. Now he's gonna throw 6 skulls at us and then start shooting jets of lava from the floor. I don't know how he managed to do that one, but it's a pretty cool attack. It happens very quick to the point where it is really hard to dodge when the glasses are active. Alright, now Dungeon 5. Let's just get this one over with. Dungeon 5 is going to be really hard to navigate because it is a forest. Forest dungeons... That is the worst possible spot that could be in. Okay, so... Never mind. I see exactly what I need to do. I need to go over here. That is not the item that I meant to have. I thought that I still had the lighter equipped. I don't know why. So now, I need to just screen wrap here. I think. No, I need to go over here, go up one, and then screen wrap over. So the reason why forest dungeons are such a nightmare to screen wrap to the boss / secret room in is because that. The sort of in-between rooms aren't voids in the forest. In the forest, they are covered in trees, and I need to make sure... Alright. Lined up nice and easy, so there is a middle sort of stripe of Lenna's sprite that is a different shade of red, which is sort of like the visual cue for this skip, or trick, rather. If you line up perfectly in the middle of the room with Tentaluchus, then most of the time, that attack there, where he just rushed at me and then stopped, usually what happens is he bounces around the room like he's one of those old DVD loading screens. But if you are in the exact center of the room, at least on like the vertical plane, or no, horizontal plane rather, then Tentaluchus most of the time just stops that attack and you save pretty much 15 seconds each time. I say most of the time because sometimes Tentaluchus just doesn't care and Phil rushes you anyway. This all around was a really good Tentaluchus fight. So we're gonna give him a little trophy. Oh, I almost accidentally menued out of the map, and that would have forced a cutscene, which would have not been good. Okay, Dungeon 2, why not? Because I'm already going there. So now, this may be no holidays allowed, so that means that we have to beat up the boss that is dressed like Santa. Because no holidays are allowed here. This is, I think, the boss more than any other that I wish had been a 2-phase fight, because you can spare him literally as soon as the second phase starts. Because he has only 1 hit worth of HP, and now I can spare him. Which is good because I just went on to critical health. So yeah, that's a really quick fight. I almost forgot to come over here and pick that up. Give me a healing potion, give me the bow. Let's come over here to Dungeon 1. We only have 3 bosses left, and then the 3 final bosses, which are pretty straightforward each. Of course, this is like the worst layout I could get of Dungeon 1, at least for where Azraflail, the boss, is. Because I have to beat all those guys up. And I can't screen wrap sideways on that top room either. Alright, where are we? Okay. I can at least screen wrap right here, which is very handy dandy. Fortunately, Krabatin, which is the other one-phase fight, is really, really quick. I am not thrilled about the fact that we still have Sandolphin, who is a pretty lengthy auto-scroller of a second phase. However, the fight against Delvin is going to be literally one attack, and then it is over. So, we are definitely coming to the final stretch of this run. Can you please pick up that ball? Thank you. Alright. Dungeon 3. I got a pretty good guess as to where the boss is. Granted, every time I've been like, I have a pretty good guess where so-and-so is, I've been wrong. But fortunately, I was right this time. I am very glad that Krabatin is a one-phase fight today, because I do not want to have to even think about fighting his second phase. He's got probably the scariest second phase out of all of the bosses. In addition to being pretty lengthy, his hitbox is massive. He is a master of juking the bow on his second phase. He can cause a lot of time loss if you've got the two-phase fight against him. Alright. Now we just have Sandolphin left, who is at the bank. Going to equip the lighter, just so that way I've got the dash. And I really hope that Sandolphin's going to be straight up from the start. Oh wait, no, I have the map here. I think I know where she is. Yep, okay. That is fine. For some reason, I thought that I had the layout diamond. This is not diamond, this is spider. And here we go. Serpentine Dolphin. So, she's gonna be spawning various floors here and there that we stand on, which is handy because we can't actually attack while swimming. And that's also why her second phase is so long. Her second phase is kind of like a bullet hell, while having to swim constantly, and then occasionally various platforms will show up and you just walk onto the platform, swing the sword a few times, and then the fight will be over. But as this is a pretty long fight, at least in comparison, one last time for the run, if there are any messages from the host, now is a really, really good time.
We've got one. Basically, I just want everyone to know that if you're looking to donate, make sure to type !donate in the chat to get the link to our Tiltify page where you can make a direct donation. We have amazing incentives right now for you to choose from, so make sure to get those donations in to help them get met before the end of the event.
Alright, I am going to try and lock in a little bit for this fight, because if I only have a heart and a half of HP left, and if I go down in this fight, then this run gets mercy. Like, let's face it. Paige has been the ultimate final boss of my Lenna's Inception speedrunning career. And Sandolphin could put the nail in the coffin, but hopefully that doesn't happen. This is on the final hit, though, so... There we go, spared. Well, that was close. Grab that. Now we get the power of truth. Now we've got just two strong skeletons named Edgar and Alan, the chairman, Delvin, and 8 Fridge. 8 Fridge is the little rectangle thing that's been falling from the ceiling in all of the item rooms. 8 Fridge is also the true final boss of the game. I am going to use a healing potion real quick with the axe, pop over to the palace, and try and beat up these skellies. With the axe, they have 5 hits worth of HP each. I'm not going to take that heart. Alright. The 3 final bosses. First up, the Chairman. Chairman Mammon / Chairman Gammon. His boss title is Capitalist Pig. And his big catchphrase at this point is that he's too big to fail. So first attack is going to be, he's going to send a bunch of cash cows at us. They are cows literally made out of cash. But if you jump at him while he's trying to make them, as soon as he turns red, then he'll just punch you and skip like a 20-second long attack or so. And he'll charge, then he'll play Rich Man's Volley. I almost messed that up. Also, if you time the jump right to skip the cash cow attack, then you won't actually take damage from the punch, which is nice. I believe there are 2 more hits that I need to get, and then after that, it's going to be grab the Power of Wealth from him. And then at that point, then we'll have all 4 powers. The Power of Fortitude that we got from Lance, the Power of Compassion that we got from the Prince, the Power of Truth that we got from the Memory Tokens, and the Power of Wealth that we got from the Chairman. Now I'm going to equip the revolver and be very careful to not accidentally hit the button for the shot, because if I do that, then I can't one-shot Delvin, and that's a disaster. So, here we go. Really hard fight incoming. This is, in all seriousness, by far the hardest fight in this game if you don't have the revolver. 4 phases of really brutal gameplay. I'm going to equip the bow for a very specific reason, and that is the first attack 8 Fridge uses. Oh yeah, something that I didn't explain that's really important lore is Lenna is actually the mother of all of the Archangels that we fought. So now her children, Azrael and Pentaluchas, are going to come by and tell her to not blow the dust out of the cartridge, because that wouldn't be good. Now we're going to use the debug menu to get to dungeon number 9, Archangel School. Where the fridge is in Lenna's bedroom, if you go in there before leaving the school at the very start of the run, there will be her scythe there that we will see in her Archangel form on the, I think, last sort of phase of this fight. This is a fight with a whole lot of phases that are really short each. And if I do this right, and if Lance behaves, then I will actually be able to save both the Elder and Lance, who died at the start of the run, so... Happy ending! Is possible in perfect ending. Go figure. Need to hit him, I think, 1 more time. Yep. Save him, and then... unequip all damaging items, equip the axe, get warped to the Elder's Cave. Lance 1, 2... God, please get over here, my dude. Okay, dang. Lance was really trying to kill me there. But it looks like I was actually able to save him, which is good. So now we fight the UI. Just throw bombs at the item icons. Usually, you have to just wait for all of the wall to get thrown, but apparently if you throw bombs at the... I need to take the explosion section off. If you take the, or if you throw bombs at the item thing, then, you get a quick kill on it, and I might be wrong, but I think one of the devs found that trick. Also, time, by the way, sorry that I wasn't, calling that out very well. Yeah, that run was really something, so I will keep my shoutouts very brief. Thank you so much to No Glitches Allowed for letting me show off this game. I love it so, so much. Shoutouts to Bitten Studio for making such an amazing game, and also for making another amazing game called Cassette Beasts. And shoutouts to the Lenna's Inception speedrunning community for pushing this game quite a bit. But yeah, that is going to be all from me